Hi, everyone. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. I'm excited to review a great topic today, which is body composition. So while I'm getting everything set up, I see 8 of us are on. We're expecting a couple more. So why don't you go ahead and write where you are from? And you think your name will be attached. So just where you are from today. I know we're on a bit of a lag, so I'll let we'll let that get started a bit. Phil, Miami. Yes. Rebecca, Venice, Florida. Deepak, Gainesville. I have family down there. Marilee, Scottsdale, Arizona. Monique, I see you now. Oh, amazing. We have a whole crew today. Let me put these on here. Kelly, Northport, Florida. Fantastic. James Booker Raton. I think I got everybody. All right, we are 9 and counting, but let's just dive in today. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Ali Zozos. I am a registered dietitian. I am one of Eat Love's dietitians. I also run member success. And today I'm going to be doing your dietitian-led webinar. We're going to be talking about all things body composition. Of course, if some of you either have or have not learned more about Eat Love just yet, we are going to reserve some time to review the ins and outs of who we are, because we'll be doing our webinars bi-weekly on topics that we get asked all the time. Think about what are 1% improvements, how to build a better pantry, hacking your own psychology to really kind of bust through your nutrition and fitness goals. So all of that in the pipeline for the weeks to come. Today, of course, we are going to jump right into body composition. If at any point in time you have a question, we're going to keep this super casual, so please feel free to just drop your question. I'm actually going to set a sticky note up here. Please drop questions here. We will reserve a little bit of time at the end today. Perfect. All right, so I just need a confirmation that you will all be able to see my slides whenever I do pull them up. This time I did select start presentation, not delete. Have done that a couple times. But can we all see this? Let me just hit back to chat box, make sure everybody is here. Just give me like a wave or yes, I can see that. Perfect. Thanks so much, Rebecca. All right, so body composition, the basics. I know you got some marketing information about some of the topics we were covering today. I've added a few more, of course, of important things that I feel from my perspective as a dietitian will be helpful to put into perspective for you as the fitness in the fitness master in your own right of your own health. So thank you all for confirming that. Let's jump right in today. So our agenda, we are going to be understanding more about what body composition is, what makes up our body composition, how to jumpstart any changes if that is one of our health goals, how to use nutrition and physical fitness, exercise to achieve our results faster. You know, it's one thing, we can't just wish it and will it to happen. We definitely need some structure around that. And then how to measure our progress at every step, multiple different ways to measure it. We're going to talk about literally measuring it in your own home, and then things that maybe you not have thought of measuring your success when it comes to body composition. That's a very tangible thing, but I want you to know that there's a lot of different ways that you can measure success in your health journey. So I did reserve a little bit of time to review that today. And then of course, a little bit of Eat Love. I will be sprinkling in some Eat Love information through our presentation. For anyone that is unfamiliar with Eat Love, we are personalized nutrition technology. We use science-based evidence to create personalized nutrition meal plans, meal inspiration, as well as kind of in-app guidance to help you learn how to eat for your preferences, goals, and your family. So if any of you out there are struggling with what to eat at mealtime, or mealtime is a very stressful thing for you to think about and actually partake in, Eat Love is going to be a solution to that. So I'm excited to show you a little bit more about that today. And then, of course, if we have some Q&A time. But let's jump in with the first topic. So body composition is the proportion of body fat and non-fat mass in our body. So it really breaks down into those two categories. So the non-fat and fat-free mass includes things like bone, fluids like water, muscle, organs, tissues. It may also be called lean tissue. Non-fat mass tissues are metabolically active, meaning they burn calories for energy, while body fat does not. Body fat, on the other hand, is found in muscle tissue under the skin, also known as subcutaneous fat, or around organs, known as visceral fat. Some fat is necessary for overall health. This would be considered your essential fat. In just speaking in terms of genders, yes, women have more essential fat than men for the natural progression of life, as women are the ones to usually carry children. So essential fat is going to be higher. That percentage is going to be higher in women, which is why those percentages are usually adjusted to account for that. The essential fat helps us protect our organs, stores fuel for energy, regulate important body hormones. So it is a very important aspect in our overall body genetic makeup. However, it is possible to have more excess storage of fat that is not considered non-essential. And today, that's what we're going to be looking on to reduce if that is one of your health goals. So let's get started with how to jumpstart some changes. You can see from these two pictures, there's really two things that stick out immediately, and that is your physical activity and exercise routine and your diet and nutrition. So we will start with the physical activity and exercise piece of it. And I've come up with a couple of checklists here that make it super, super simple to get started. A few weeks ago, we talked a little bit about 1% improvements. We know that when we start anything, we can't go full force at it because it becomes very hard to become part of our everyday routine if it's not something that we set the foundation for. So while you are building up into a routine exercise program, look at your physical activity. Where are you in that, right? Are you moving frequently throughout the day? Are you going on walks? And if not, where can you increase that just physical activity piece? How can you be more active in your day-to-day? So maybe you can park your car further away from the grocery store. Maybe you can take the stairs at work instead of the elevator. Just very simple tasks to get more physical activity in your day. And then when you're ready, start gradually increasing time and intensity of that exercise. Exercise is one thing that we can do to improve decreasing body fat and increasing muscle and or both. These changes lead to a decrease in that body fat percentage. But there's a lot of other things that come into play that can affect our body composition that really are non-modifiable. Things like gender, things like age, things like genetics, usually not modifiable things. However, things like stress and sleep can absolutely affect body composition and can also affect your physical activity and the way you do exercise. So taking a look at all pieces that build on that topic and being able to put one foot in front of the other, being able to change what you can, understand what you can't, and gradually increasing that time and intensity of exercise over time. So then we can look at our two different types of exercise. Primarily, we have strength training, and then we have cardio-based routine. Your muscles need to be challenged by exercise, particularly weight training, to grow and get stronger. While the cardiovascular exercise is really going to assist in your fat loss. And then when you're looking at body composition, it's important to get a mix of both of those, depending on what your overall goals are. If you want to build more muscle, you're probably going to want to do more strength exercise. If you want to lose more fat and have not as large muscles, you'll probably do more cardio and then tone up with your strength training. But any type of physical activity is going to be important. The recommendation across the board is usually about 150 minutes per week, which comes out to about 30 minutes per 5 days. For more significant weight loss, we're looking at about 250 minutes per week. But again, these are baseline averages. We still need to set that target, that foundation to even be consistent with this. So our last point is to stay consistent with your new routine. If you're nowhere close to that 150 minutes, or and especially nowhere close to that 250 minutes, maybe it's just getting to the gym once a week, every single week, being consistent with that for 3 weeks, proving to yourself that you have stuck to a schedule, and then increased to 2 days a week, and then so on and so forth until you hit your baseline of 150 minutes, 5 days a week. The average gym goer may not go more than 2 or 3 times a week. So it's important. Consistency is going to be the most important thing for this when you are looking at body composition changes. it's a really good thing to think about, not just weight alone, but just overall body composition. It's important to get those muscles moving. It's important to try different types of exercise, and it's important to find what you enjoy. First and foremost, if you don't enjoy it, replace it with something that you do. And then, of course, talking a little bit about an Eat Love pro tip here is you can absolutely track your physical activity and exercise in Eat Love in the daily tracker. This is really good and helpful for monitoring trends and patterns and other things that are modifiable, things like mood and energy and sleep. So if you take notes on your physical activity and exercise plan for the day and you start to notice a trend between, I am in a better mood when I get 10 to 15 minutes of walking time in, and you write that in your journal, you can revisit those trends and be able to apply that consistently. And there you go, your physical activity and exercise, you can just check off that box knowing that you are working towards decreasing your body fat and changing your overall body composition because you have got this one key piece of framework in place. So we're going to jump over to diet and nutrition next, which is my secret sauce when it comes to changing body composition. Of course, you need the exercise and the physical activity, but we cannot ignore the diet and nutrition. So first and foremost, consider your calories. Body composition is going to change from, body composition is going to change with an energy baseline. Are you in a calorie surplus or are you in a deficit? You can absolutely be in a calorie surplus if you plan to build muscle. That is it goes hand in hand. If you are utilizing those calories and that energy to build that muscle, yes, you're going to need to be in a surplus. But if you're looking for fat loss and toned muscles, that surplus is not necessarily going to be helping you in that sense. You're still going to want a micro deficit. So consider your calories first and foremost. Understand where you are starting from. So I do want to pause there because the next question is, when we're considering calories and diet quality, it's important to know where we're getting our nutrition from. So I'm just going to take a poll here, or just get a general sense of hands. How many of you are familiar with Eat Love? How many of you have downloaded the app? How many of you are interested in it? I would love to hear some input in the chat over here today. Rebecca, Kelly, anyone? Either yes, you've heard of Eat Love, you're currently using it, or not familiar but interested. Merely not familiar with it. Fantastic. So we're definitely going to review some of it today. Rebecca just downloaded it. Amazing. Deepak didn't know about it earlier. Yeah, so you have everyone. I think everyone. MM is interested. Kelly just got the app. Fantastic. So for those that have downloaded it, this is something, Dorothea, not familiar just yet. You all will be if you are interested in upgrading your membership to Premium Plus with the YouFit gym near you, your home gym. So what Eat Love can do for you is give you that baseline nutrition plan. Where are your energy needs? Where do they need to be in order to support your body composition goals? Whether that's muscle gain, fat loss, those are definitely goals that you can do in the app. So tracking your food for a couple of days to understand if you're hitting your targets or you are far off, and how to make those adjustments. So considering your calories first and foremost, Eat Love will be able to directly guide you with that. The second piece is checking for diet quality. Even if you're in a calorie deficit, what does the makeup of your diet look like? Diet in terms of your eating pattern. This is not that you're following a specific type of diet. This is literally made up for you. What do you eat for breakfast? What do you eat for lunch? What do you eat for dinner? That is your diet. That is your personal diet. So check for the quality. Are you consuming things that are more empty calories, things that are high in sugar, things that are high in saturated fat and sodium, and things that are less in fiber and fruits and vegetables in general, beans and legumes, things like that. So Eat Love is going to be able to tally up all of that information for you and tell you that you are over or under in saturated fat. And it'll be able to show you what foods are over. If you were like, okay, saturated fat, I was 10 grams over today. What in my diet today? What in my daily plan did I eat that had saturated fat in it? And it becomes a really good learning opportunity for you to examine, oh, I didn't know there was saturated fat coming from cheese. I didn't know there was saturated fat coming from dairy products, and things like that. It's just like the light bulb clicks and everything line up. So in my book, knowledge is power. And we have to know where we're getting our food sources from to make changes on them. So checking for diet quality and understanding where you are in relation to your calories to support your goals, Eat Love is going to be a critical piece in that. So all of you that have the app downloaded and are just getting started with it, I definitely encourage you to check that out today. Do a daily food log, track your food for the day, maybe start tomorrow morning, see where your targets are hitting. Where can you make some positive changes? So 2 changes that I definitely wanted to hit on today that are directly correlated to changes in body composition are protein and fiber. So Eat Love is going to give you your protein range and your fiber range as well. But I can say that less than 5% of most age groups in the United States are getting enough fiber, which is crazy to think about. That goes back to the point where at least 90% of Americans don't get enough fruits and vegetables, because fiber is going to be a critical piece of fruits and vegetables. It's also going to be a makeup to things like beans and legumes, whole grains, going to have lots of fiber in them. And if less than 5%, not even less than 5% are actually hitting that optimal need, we have some work to do. And just diet is going to be really working to change our body composition just by feeding us what our body craves. So readjusting for your optimal protein and fiber targets. And Eat Love will give you and provide you those criteria based on what's recommended for your age and your gender. So really good points there to give you, of course, 100% personalized nutrition guidance. And then lastly, just with exercise, is being consistent with that eating pattern. It's about, eating well 80% of the time. And I don't want to call 20% cheat days or anything like that. I don't think those are really helpful for anybody. But when your days look like a mix of 80% good, 20% things that, you just enjoy that may not have been tied to certain health goals, you're doing pretty good. But if you're eating 80% the entire week, and then the weekends are completely, cheat days mentality type of thing, and they're off the rails, it's going to be really hard to get back on track. But it's everything going to be in moderation and be consistent with your eating pattern. And of course, first and foremost, being kind to yourself when it comes to making those food selections. So I'll get a little bit more into that on the Eat Love side when we're able to view some of the pictures in the app and what that looks like. But diet and fitness and nutrition, the 2 main things to start with when it comes to changing body composition. So really quickly, I wanted to cover over how to measure body composition. These are some of the 4 most popular things that I hear. I know in clubs, Involved and Evolved and InBody are going to be 2 other ones that are very, in my mind, similar to a more fancy bioelectrical impedance analysis. So the BIA is going to be this handheld unit that you kind of hold out in front of you, small electrical current that goes through your body, reads your fat, water, and lean tissue. So it gives you a reading based on how that current impedes those sections of your body. The skin fold measurements are often used by trainers too on fitness journeys. So you take these calipers, you pinch your skin sites, you get a percent of those readings. They're pretty accurate when done correctly. Men and women will have different sites, just like women have a little bit more essential fat than men do. We also store our fat in different places. So it's important to get the accurate measurements for both men and women to calculate that percentage. A Dexa scan is going to be a dual energy X-ray absorptiometry scan, performed usually in a medical setting, and it can also check for bone density, which is pretty cool, especially with an aging population. Women in bones, they want to make sure that we have strong bones as we age. So a Dexa scan is really helpful for that setting. And then lastly, the hydrostatic weighing is considered the gold standard when it comes for body fat. Completely submerged in water. These are kind of hard to find in places, but just knowing that you can visit sites and have your hydrostatic, weighing body fat. I will say that they all have their positives and negatives. I say the most common that we see in gyms are going to be the InBody scanner, the eVault. There may be some bioelectrical impedances running around, skin measurements. I've seen the Bod Pod here and there, but here's what a Dexa scan would look like. Here's what hydrostatic weighing would look like. And they're all available to kind of get that baseline measurement. It's really important to get that starting point and then measure as you go. So how do we measure as we go, especially if you're working with a trainer or you're at the gym and you have access to these, the InBody scanner, skin fold measurement, the bioelectrical impedance. Those are great to check every so often. I wouldn't necessarily say like on a weekly basis, but once a month, once every 6 weeks, to really see that change. A great tool to have if you have access to it. But how can you physically measure progress at every step? There's three main things that I want to point out here, and this is all related to body composition, not necessarily just like any type of measurement. So a regular scale alone is not going to be able to show you your body fat, but just a regular bathroom scale, unless it has certain things on it. They're usually pretty robust. Usually most of our bathroom scales are just weighing your body mass, which includes your fat mass and your lean mass. It does not differentiate between the two of them. So if you are changing your composition internally, you're losing fat mass, you're gaining muscle mass, the scale can't tell you the difference. So you lose 2 pounds, you gain 2 pounds, scale stays the same. But what you can do with the regular scale, the regular bathroom scale, is to pair that with either measurements. Highly recommend taking measurements at the beginning of your fitness journey, and then highly recommend keeping an eye on your clothes. Your clothes are kind of just like measurements that you wear 100% of the time. How are they fitting? Do you feel better in them? So the measurements alone will be the thing changing. But if you're just using the scale to measure progress, you may be frustrated if you're not seeing changes, but you're like, my clothes are fitting better. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. It's just the scale doesn't have the capacity to differentiate between fat mass and lean mass, which we learned at the beginning. Lean mass is like our organs and everything else that's included inside our bodies. So pairing the scale with measurements, and better yet, just understanding how your clothes fit and how you feel in them, is going to be a powerful combination every step of the way, whether you're just starting out month 2, month 3, month 4, and the rest of your life, if you're something that you want to keep track of. And then I would be, I do need to mention some non-scale victories just in terms of body composition. So these really have nothing to do with body composition, but they're really important things that can't be overshadowed. So we talked a little bit about getting started with our fitness and our diet goals and how they change our body composition over time. Secondarily, you may start to feel a lot better in a lot of different categories that maybe the body composition, it has not changed yet, or maybe you haven't measured it, so you're not sure of, but you notice that you have more energy. You notice that you're PRing your lifts. You notice that you're sleeping better, or that your brain is sharper. Your lab values are changing. Your A1C is decreasing. Your LDLs are decreasing. You're just much more manageable. Maybe like inflammatory markers are coming down. You have better coping mechanisms when it comes to just overall fitness and health, and you're in a better mood. So all of these things can't be overshadowed. So what I call non-scale victories, have to give them a shout out, because these are things that you may find along the way. And sometimes, are almost more important than the body composition changing alone. Anything that you can achieve here is going to be better for your long-term health and just for your mood and just being able to show up for yourself every single day. Of course, your body composition isn't going to change day to day. That's a long-term change, but your mood may improve week to week. Your labs may improve in 4 weeks. Your brain might feel sharper overnight. And that all goes back to how you're fueling your body and how you are moving your body. So I am going to pause there and then kind of switch gears into Eat Love. And I want to run a poll for all of you today. I want to hear more about how often you are running out of meal ideas. So let's see, always, often, sometimes, or never. Often. Often's winning so far with 100%. Never. Sometimes. All right, so often and sometimes make up about 80%. Yeah, it's one of those things that, you have your go-to things, and it's kind of hard to get out of a routine. So Eat Love is going to be one of those resources that kind of just inspire you to get out of your comfort zone and try new things. And if you can see just to the left here, some of these gorgeous food pictures, these are very simple dishes. I think this one is just chicken and salsa and avocado and brown rice. just 4 components, and it looks gorgeous. So they look delicious, they inspire you, and they want to try. We want you to try new things. I do want to run one more poll here. I like this one. What is most difficult about meal planning for you and your family? We have allergies and avoidance, time, huge one. It's already shot to 100%. Picky family members, grocery shopping. Picky family members. It's a big one. I see all too often family members, whoever is doing the cooking, making 3 to 4 different meals a night, and it's too much. It's too much for one person. So we have to find that compromise. We have to be able to work with allergies and avoidances and time and how picky family members are to make one dish that checks all of the boxes. And it is possible. You just have to, well, you know, when you look into Eat Love and you look into ways to make your life a lot easier and simple, we're able to do all of that. Our nutrition technology is going to evaluate over 4 million dietary factors, taking into consideration the ones that you see up here: shopping habits, time, your family, allergies and avoidances, food preferences, genetics, and a whole bunch of others that make up about 4 million different dietary factors. So think about Eat Love as your Spotify meals playlist. So you can do a lot of different things with that Spotify meals playlist, exactly how you would be on your Spotify, clicking next, favoriting, repeating. Eat Love can do all of that. We're going to be hand picking recipes through our nutrition algorithm that fits all of these boxes and checks them all off for you and your family. So we're personalized nutrition for both making meals at home and dining out. On the dining out piece, we have over 30 restaurants. We're looking to double that over the next couple of weeks here, next couple of months, that are popular restaurant chains that if you're going out to eat and you don't know what to eat because you have health goals and you don't want to isolate yourself because that's not living, you want to be a part of those routines with your family and friends, but you can still make choices confidently based on your goals through macronutrients and your energy needs. So we're going to tell you what's recommended based on your fat loss goal to hit your goal in X amount of weeks. Customized and flexible for every client. So this includes your family members. You can put everything in here that we just talked about: allergies, avoidances. You can layer on top of that a nutrition diagnosis. If you have high cholesterol or you have diabetes and you're not sure how to eat for it, you know, you're able to pair that, and we're still going to be able to give you meal recommendations that hit all of those. So you can rest assured and feel confident knowing that our team of dietitians and our validated nutrition templates are going to help you get there without stressing you out over mealtime and without feeling like you're making the wrong choices for yourself and your goals. And it's on top of that, it's food that you can actually cook and buy. It's not going to be crazy things you've never heard of because it's not realistic. You know, we are very big proponents of simple food that tastes really good and of course looks absolutely beautiful from these pictures. So it's going to be things that you've heard of and that maybe I never thought to put that combination together, but you know, let's give it a try. Let's see what it tastes like. I'm just looking at some of these comments. Rebecca, what do you want for dinner is the worst question my husband can ask me. Absolutely. It's the $1 million question. What do you want for dinner? And just a follow-up question to that. How often are you asked that question the day of? And do you have an answer for it every single day? And I know you just downloaded the app, but you can forecast Eat Love for weeks and weeks and weeks in advance based on that. So if you plan, you know, taking your baby steps, how can I plan for 3 dinners next week? I planned for 1. I want to increase that to 3, and that's all I'm going to focus on because I want smart, sustainable changes. You can plan for that. So when he texts you next, we're having vegetable lasagna. We're having that tonight and tomorrow, and we're going to have chicken stir fry Thursday or Friday, whatever day it is of the week. And then you said allergic to nuts, seeds, seafood, including sulfate. Yep. So you can put all of those avoidances in your category. So your preferences: allergic, nuts, seeds, and then seafood, including shellfish, and we'll still be able to give you nutrition recommendations based on your health goals. So that is one thing to keep into consideration. And I know you're interested in joining and signing up for a Premium Plus membership. So know that we are able to support all allergies We not only have just the regular 8 major allergens, but we also have thousands and thousands of others that are in a taxonomy. So think of like coconut and coconut products, coconut flour, coconut sugar, coconut oil. Maybe you just have an aversion to coconut oil and you check off just coconut oil, but all other coconut products are fine. Or flip side, you can't have any coconut products, so coconut wipes out everything. Every day, so much anxiety around 3:30. Exactly. Yes. So Monique brings up a really great point there. We have a shopping list that is going to populate your grocery cart in real time as you schedule your meals. There's a place to, and I think on the next page we'll be able to see the cart. Perfect. So you can see this grocery cart right here, this turkey burger. If you click add to my grocery cart, it'll create this grocery list for you. It'll be broken down by produce, deli, canned goods, pantry, condiments, things like that. You can always see what you're buying it for if you click within this white space. Why do I need 2 ears of corn? What's the recipe for that again? I forget. So you can do this in real time. You can change quantities. You can remove things that you already have. This button right here will add to that list. But what's really cool is that you can send it to anyone in your family to get them more involved. At the end of the day, we want food to be family time. So if that's getting the family involved in the prepping process, or hey, you know, everyone downloads the app, they all search for recipes and they're like, hey, I want to try this for dinner. Any chance we can do that? You know, it gets the family thinking about food as fuel and not as like a daunting, anxious task that we have to do to survive. We want it to be fun. And this is one way that to get the whole family involved. And then you can, of course, send it out for grocery delivery. We partner with Amazon Fresh, Instacart, and Walmart to get your groceries delivered online. I know someone in the chat box said that they ordered their food just yesterday. I do the same thing every single week without fail. I plan for 5 or 6 meals. And then the next morning, all my groceries are here. It saves 90 minutes to 2 hours a week just in the convenience factor. So, yeah, estimated women think about what they are going to make for their family 46 times a day. So, Rebecca, you are not alone. It's a huge, huge statistic there. And it's something that we want to delegate for you. We want to take that off your plate and we want to simplify that. Deepak, yes, there are vegetarian options. That is going to be on the section above the allergies. It'll just ask you what type of dietary pattern you follow. So we have eats all things. We have a couple different types of vegetarians. We have vegan, pescatarian. And of course, you can create your own option. So if you are primarily vegetarian, but you eat fish once in a while, you can select that. You can tell the algorithm you want to see fish, even though you're following a vegetarian pattern. So that is one thing to note. In addition to Eat Love, there is a daily log section right here. So like what I was talking about earlier, and just understanding where your targets are falling for your goals, you can click on the daily log section and actually log your food right in there. It looks just like MyFitnessPal, a version of it, like a daily food tracker. You can add your food. The one thing I will point out with our foods database is that all of our food, we have about 300,000 products on there. It's all validated by our team of nutrition scientists and data technologists. So it's all accurate. Accuracy is very important to us. We are in healthcare systems and transplant units, and we're in professional sports teams where these numbers have to be accurate for success with athletic performance, and then just very severe medical conditions and complications that could happen when things aren't. So MyFitnessPal has a much larger database, but the data is not very accurate. So that's one thing to take consideration. I say give the food log two weeks, log what you would log for 2 weeks. If you're someone that eats similar things for breakfast and lunch, those foods will be there and frequently used foods, and it will make the logging process much simpler. But it also gives you some real-time data into your picture and how you can support your health goals, whatever they are, even if body composition changes are not one of them. And I think that is where I'm going to stop today. Any questions? Any questions for today? You guys have been such a wonderful bunch. I'm curious for those that haven't downloaded or upgraded their membership to Premium Plus, is this something that you're considering now, knowing what Eat Love can do for you and your family and your health goals? Give it a couple more seconds here. I know we're on a lag. Rebecca, how reliable are smart scales that measure all things? Measure all the things to use as a gauge. Smart scale. Do you mean smart swaps? Smart choices? Is that what you're referring to? Timothy, looking forward to trying it. Amazing. James, awesome. Deepak, of course, of course. Rebecca, do you have possibly mean smart swaps? In the smart swap section, if you get a meal that you're not sure that you like and you want to swap it for something else, everything in there is still going to fit your nutrition plan. So you don't have to worry about busting certain targets. It'll show you nothing before it shows you the wrong information. I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to here. How do I smart scales? Or do you mean smart scales like a weight scale and measures? Right, perfect. Scales that measure body fat. So I am definitely not the scale expert. I haven't used a scale in a very long time, so I'm not entirely sure what is out there for scales and like smart scales. I know that the robust ones that tell you everything they need to know are very, very expensive. They're in healthcare settings. They're in gyms because it's usually just one device that everyone can use. So I don't have a solid answer for that. I'm sure there's always going to be plus and minus, just like bioelectrical impedance analysis. I'm trying to remember back to college days. I studied exercise science in college, and I know there was always a percent error with all of these. So I know bioelectrical impedance was like a 2 to 3% error, which is pretty high if you think about it. If you're looking at like, okay, I have 22, 23% body fat, and this is telling me that I have 25, it's a really big jump. So all of them are going to have their percentage of error. I'm not entirely sure what the smart scale will have as a percentage of error, but knowing that the most accurate are going to be like those hydrostatic weighing devices, Dexa scans, and things like that, which I know you can make appointments at universities that do them for that use them in part of their education in their institutions. We had one where I was studying. We had a bod pod. That was one of our exercises, was to just kind of get in the bod pod and experience it. So they are able to find if you want something that's spot on specific, but I'm not sure in terms of the exact percentage of error with the smart scales. Yes, Monique got your question. Barcode scanner. Okay, good. Kelly, yep. And then our support email is support@eatlove.is if you'd like more information on Eat Love, or we can direct you to the UFIT membership page. We're very excited. Our partnership just went live January 1st. We have hundreds of wonderful users already on the app, and we're so excited to get more of you and to learn more about some of your goals through these bi-weekly sessions. So these are every single week, or every other week. We'll be talking about things like building a better pantry, which is, I think, my favorite topic. I think without a good pantry, it makes it really hard to get started. So we want to make sure we have that foundation. I always talk about the foundation piece of it. But if there aren't any more questions, I will let you all go for today. You have a great Wednesday, a great rest of your week, and let me know, me or myself or Monique know at support@eatlove.is if you need any more information. And we'll talk soon. Bye.